Hello, and welcome back to more of my incessant ramblings, I guess. If you did not know, Breath of the Wild came out. I mean, it's been probably about a week or two off now since Tears of the Kingdom came out. I said Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom. um, yeah, I'm just going to be talking about kind of general impressions, and thoughts. I mean, what a surprise, the game is good. Like, I've probably put 15 hours into it, roughly. I've completed 2 dungeons. I've done, probably like 50 shrines, something like that. And of course, nowhere close. I want to see as much as all of this game has to offer, but that'll take a while. So, in the meantime, I think I'm just going to, I'm just going to be talking about what I think of it, and because why not? Also, I don't understand why anyone cares about my opinion, but might as well just throw it out into the endless void of the internet, because that's what everyone else does, right? And all of the video you will be seeing is from the first hour of my gameplay, so you don't have to worry about any spoilers there. And I'm sure if you wanted to buy the game, you already have, and you're already playing it, and you don't need me to tell you that it's good. But if anyone actually cares about my opinion, which I doubt anyone does, here it is. So, Tears of the Kingdom, where to start? It's good. What a surprise. But, okay, let's just start with the new mechanics. The new runes. If they... Just going off one by one. Ultra Hand. This is definitely the biggest new... probably the biggest new addition. I'm sure you've seen all the insane shit people have been building dicks into the sky, crosses to crucify Koroks, infinite flying machines, or some other bullshit I don't even know at this point. But it adds so much creativity and fun to an already extremely kind of deep game. Because Breath of the Wild had it had the physics system and the chemistry system kind of set things on fire, or do things like roll things down hills, or just beat enemies up with whatever you had lying around. But Tears of the Kingdom just cranks all of that up to 11. Just being able to fuse all of the materials and the zonai parts with that just give you... It just allows for so much creativity and new discovery and a whole new form of traversal that also ties into the exploration, which is great. So, the Ultra Hand is just amazing. It is probably the biggest new feature, just because, it lets you do whatever you want. And then these, I guess in the order that, the order of importance, I guess. Fuse, it's probably between Fuse and Recall. Recall lets you, of course, recall or move things back to wherever they originally were. But it's really versatile. It's way more versatile than you actually think it would be, because, you can roll a boulder back up a hill, but you can also make moving platforms by putting things one way, and then bringing it back, and standing on it, and it lets you get over there. So you're able to use that to traverse the world, and also, of course, for combat, for things like, there's some bosses that use the recall in cool ways that you can. It's just a it's just a cool, fun fight. A lot of the bosses are okay. I'm getting off track. I'll get to the bosses and the exploration later. And then there's Fuse, which like Fuse is being able to fuse. It's not anything. It's like actually having a use for the monster parts is great because in Breath of the Wild, you kind of just you had them and you're just like, what do I do with all of these monster parts? They're kind of useless. But in Tears of the Kingdom, of course, you can fuse them to your weapons to buff them up or your shields. And it, like, and of course they incentivize you to do this because all of the base weapons are kind of garbage. So it's kind of a cool new progression system. I mean, it's kind of like, it's not Monster Hunter, but it's something similar where it's, oh, you get a weapon, you kill a monster, you get a stronger weapon because you fuse it from the monster, and then you kill a stronger monster, and then the cycle repeats. So it kind of allows for cool progression in that way. And also more cool movement in with like attaching rockets or bombs to your shield. Or I'm sure there's so many glitches and tricks that speedrunners will discover that will make it even more versatile and fun to watch. And then lastly is Ascend, which, I mean, it's useful, it's cool in like when you have it, like being able to go up through platforms, especially like in the sky through caves. Yeah, it's helpful sometimes, but out of the four, it's definitely the least versatile and the most situational. So it's useful when you need it, but it's not anything special. I wouldn't say. And going, I guess, just moving along. It's the story in the story itself. It seems the story seems the way it's conveyed is kind of similar to Breath of the Wild, where there you have your inciting incident at the beginning of the game, and then once Hyrule opens up, you're able to wander around, and a lot of it is just conveyed in flashbacks. So you'll run into these Dragon's Tears, or should I keep this? Who cares? Yeah, Dragon's Tears on the map, and then it'll play a cutscene from the past, and then you'll see a flashback. And I mean, again, I didn't mind the story of Breath of the Wild too much. I thought it was serviceable, but like the focus is clearly on the gameplay, and that's what I want. It's definitely the same in Tears of the Kingdom. So all of that is like, it's good. It does the job. It's not a groundbreaking story that's going to have me connecting to the characters and bawling my eyes out. It's not like a JRPG, but and because of the non-linear nature of Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, it kind of has to be that way. But it's good. It's not terrible, but it's not amazing. But some of the set pieces are really special, because just general exploration, the set pieces are just running around and re-experiencing Hyrule is even better than Breath of the Wild. It's like, it feels like a map I already knew, but there's so much stuff added, and so much stuff is different. And then along with all the new ways of traversal, like, spoiler warning, click ahead like 10 seconds if you want. I just saw a dragon going into a chasm, and I just was like, what the fuck what is going on here? Why is yeah. And I just freaked out. Like, seeing those moments where you are able to or you see something you never expected, or see something on the horizon, and it's just like, oh, that looks cool. Let me go over there, and you keep doing that 10 times. Like, oh, that looks cool. Oh, that looks cool, and you keep getting sidetracked and just getting led from one place to another. It's such an amazing feeling, just exploring the world naturally as you run around it. And the game itself, the game has some really good set pieces. Like the dungeons, both dungeons that I've played were pretty fun. They're not exactly old school Zelda dungeons. They're more similar to the Divine Beasts in Breath of the Wild, because you have to go do these 4 or 5 things, and then you get to fight the boss, which, like, I didn't mind the Divine Beasts in Breath of the Wild. I thought they were fun, but it definitely doesn't capture the magic of old school Zelda dungeons. And the Tears of the Kingdom dungeons lean more to the side of Breath of the Wild, but they do have some really cool or fun set pieces. Like, again, spoilers if you want to avoid them. The Wind Dungeon is a giant floating ship in the sky, and you're able to jump up there and on other smaller ships that rocket you into the air. And then I'm not even going to say anything about the boss, because when I played the boss, it was legitimately it was probably my favorite boss in all of Zelda. It's amazing. It's so fun and such a spectacular moment. And the Water Temple, similar, like, it's not, I preferred the Wind Temple, but the Water Temple itself was also really good. And so, it definitely has the kind of similar structure to Breath of the Wild, where, each of the 4 tribes are they have their own problems. The Zora have sludge in the water, and the Rito have a giant blizzard. You need to go solve it, and go to the dungeon, and then beat the thing, and it's magically solved. But I mean, the structure is still fun. Going to the places and exploring and seeing each of the people and solving their problems is still just as fun as ever. And then the set pieces along the way really add to the spectacle and the hype of playing the game. And one time, this is probably just going to be random anecdotes and rambling. I should have written notes, but who cares? Who cares at this point? One time I just randomly stumbled. I went into the castle, and again, spoilers, if you actually care, if you haven't played the game, there's an entire second map under the first one. It's double the size of the original game, because there is a second map under Hyrule, and it is insane. And going down there the first time is kind of mind-blowing. So, and one time I wandered down to the final boss, and going down and running past all the higher level enemies that one-shot me, and running down straight to the final boss and under Hyrule Castle was a crazy experience, and it was just amazing to see, or like really fun to do and experience. At this point, I'm rambling. I think if you haven't gotten my general thoughts and impressions yet, I think nothing else I'm going to ramble and spout out is going to help. But long story short, game good. So, if I would definitely highly recommend it if you haven't gotten it already for some reason, but I don't know. So video things, if you want to do the YouTube things, you can. yeah, like, subscribe. I don't need to tell you, blah blah blah. Thanks. If you want, actually, if you actually give a shit about my stupid opinions for some reason, you can do that. But otherwise, I'll hopefully be making another One Piece video if I actually get around to it and stop being a lazy bastard. But other than that, I'll be outro. I don't have a good outro. See ya. Peace.